pretty good. Okay, and I think we're live. Yes, we are. All right, let me just see if I can brighten this up a little bit. That's a bit better. Fiddling with the screen controls. Good evening, and welcome to my daily broadcast. My name is Barry Selby. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert. I help strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion of the divine feminine. And today is number 244 in an ongoing series of talks called Message for the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. And these are daily, so over 200 of these have been daily every single day. And as I get to the end of this day, I had this hit to talk about this topic because it's been something I'm noticing. I'm in a couple of groups that talk about this more often. And I wanted to distill down some of my own thoughts and feelings about this Me Too conversation. And from the point of view of men talking to women who have been through the Me Too experience. A lot of my clients have, and a lot of friends of mine have. And it's been very challenging and heart-rending for me as a man to hear this from women. To know them experiencing this, of being survivors of this, especially, and it's not just a thing where you survive and go on and pretend you can thrive. It's about doing the work to heal, and I'll get into that another time. Perhaps it's not really relevant in this moment, but I do want to speak to is how we men can act better, differently, more appropriately, more understandingly. that's a new word. In a more understanding way. Let's put it that way. So let me bring this up. And again, I'm not presuming, and I know better than this, that it's not the other way around too. There is a whole group of men, or a whole bunch of individual men, including myself, who've been through a different Me Too experience that's been challenging as well. That's what I need to say about that. But this in particular is about how we men, regular old men, or regular men, not regular old men, but regular men, can respond to and be around women, and particularly when it's in a conversational place that is not necessarily just passing by. Particularly, I'd say, in the area of romance. Let's put it in that context. That's the area I specialize in, so let's put it in that context. This is not about business, employment, higher or lower, that sort of story. It's about how we men can be around women who have been through painful experiences, relationship-wise, sexually speaking, abuse, whatever that is. So let me put some things on the table first. A lot of women I know have been through traumatic experiences in their relationships, in their family dynamics, in their sexual experience. And it's not something to be glossed over. Let me be clear about that up front. So how we men can be more, I'm trying the right word. It's not effective, it's not impactful, it's more about understanding and being relatable. It's to recognize that somebody who you... no, I'll say it that way. Let's go into this one. I'm sorry. I mean, this is a bit slower than normal because I'm feeling this topic has some... It's birthing, so I'm just putting it out there as it comes through. So let me see if I can another way to get into this. And if you watch my broadcast, you know this happens a lot. I'm sort of opening up to allow a better message to come through than I can create myself. That's been the way a lot of the broadcasts have been in the last few months, which has always been fun and usually interesting and ideally inspirational and entertaining as well. So hold for a second whilst I realign inside for that to drop in. The biggest thing that is not working, let's start from the other side, is, and this is true regardless of what experience women have been through, but men who do not understand that women deserve more than you give them. Let me be really blunt. There are men out there, and I don't count myself among them, thankfully. I think I've done enough work to get beyond this, where men's idea of sex with a woman is that they get what they want and they leave them behind. And that's independent of the Me Too conversation. But the women who've been through that, that's an extra wounding that's not desired, wanted, or really should happen. But, I can't control that. So for men that are waking up, those of us who are choosing to become more aware, more conscious, more present, and more connected to who we really are, because those men who are doing that stuff are usually not connected to who they really are. They're connected to their egos and their mind, but not to their heart, to their core values, and to what drives them more truthfully. I'm just seeing about 3 different lines, don't choose which one to go down right now. And if you have thoughts and comments you want to put in below, please do so. And if you're live in the broadcast, I'll respond. And if it's in the replay, I can answer them later when I come back. Where am I going to go with this? Here's where I'm going to go. I was watching the glimpse of it coming in. Ladies, let me be clear. We men have a long way to go when it comes to emotional understanding. That's one of the challenges, the missing links in our development, or in our education, or understanding. So we don't necessarily have innately skills, tools, understanding, feelings, abilities to respond in a way that is truly caring for and understanding you as a woman. So, that's not to give us a pass, and it's not for you ladies to think, oh, good, no good men out there, because I disagree with that. In a way, this talk is for men as well, because the men out there who watch this, I hope, and for women who are watching this want to share it with their friends who are men, is a call to, not a call to arms, no, but a call to honor, a call to step up and to become, because we have the capability, to become more understanding, more compassionate, more honorable, and still be men. Because there's some sort of logic flying around the male species that if we become understanding and we become compassionate, we become soft. And we're no longer manly men, we become wimps or whatever that is. And there are other crude terms as well, which I won't get into. So what I'm recognizing more and more, that the truly powerful masculine men are the ones that have the most open heart, most understanding, compassionate being. But also more powerful than most of the other men out there, because it's an inner core value. This is not a, how do you say this? It's not a physical strength thing. It's a core value. It's a presence thing that a man, because this is I'm going to go over here. I'm right now in left field, way away from what I started with, but I'll come back to it, I hope. The man, this should be just put individuals in here. The man who is ego-driven for himself, and it's wham bam, thank you ma'am, taking what he wants and goes and leaves away, is a very hollow, very fragile, and a very weak individual. They act tough, but they ain't got what it takes, as it were. The truly powerful man is a man who's awakened to his beingness, awakened to his heart, and awakened to his presence. Because the man who's deeply in his presence is basically, in some ways, a more immovable person than a man who's in his macho perspective. If you have two of those pushing against each other, the man who's in his power of presence, of consciousness, of beingness will be overpowering to the man who has ego driving every action. However, our society doesn't teach that. It's just the opposite. So for women out there who are challenged by finding men that really understand them, you have to hunt harder in a way. You have to be more aware of what you're meeting, because the thing is, a lot of women have been giving up their desires for what they think is available. They're settling for less than they deserve. That's the simple way of putting it. So what happens in a lot of cases, especially for, and this is going all over the place, so I hope this is making sense to you, because I'm just trusting what's coming through. In this conversation context about how we get to where we are in relationships comes from where we started with. I've talked about this before many times. Recently, I think, as well. We are driven by innate subconscious programming. So if we don't choose higher than that, we will settle into automatic response. And what we end up getting is something that exacerbates and repeats and recycles what we were growing up with, which for most of us sucks. And this is not the topic I started with, but this is where it's going. So again, bear with me. So I'm going to see if I bring it back. I mean, I started over here. Now I've gone like this way, this way, this way, this way. Yeah. So let's see if I come back to the end. It's out of my control now. This is where I am in this talk. It really comes down to what we're driven by and what we're choosing. As men and women, we are driven by our programming until we change that because that's default, that's subconscious, that's automatic. And until we go, whoa, hang on a second, I want to be aware of this, then we can change it. What was the second one? Oh, this is funny. They're so powerful, and I get into this depth talk. So we're driven by what we're driven by, and what we want to have, what we want to be. I think is what I said. But anyway, I'm going to go there anyway. So, okay, it's going to be one of those broadcasts. I really feel that it's a choice for men and women to raise. Here we go. Coming back to this original topic, it was a long way to get there. I feel what's up to now is for men and women to raise the conversation. Let's put it that way, simply to start with. What does that mean? That means that we are all accountable. Yes, ladies, you as well as us are accountable. Not to say that it's your fault, because that's not what I'm talking about. You're accountable to the degree that you're willing to heal and stop letting that happen to you again. Because, and this is the part that people aren't like to hear, that automatic programming I talked about, the subconscious programming we're raised with, will exacerbate and repeat what you're suffering through if you're still suffering the same experience. True for men and women. So until you change that, it will not change, you know? So in this conversation about the metoo conversation between men and women, for both sides of the conversation, elevation, awareness, awakening, and raising the context, both with honesty, or including in honesty, integrity, transparency, and openness. I think I talked about that last night somewhere. I did. That will shift the conversation. For many of us, we are yearning for this. For many of us, we're crying out for a deeper understanding and a communication, a connection that is not just, it's not just the physical human part. It's more than that. And so how we men can elevate the conversation, can raise the conversation about the Me Too context, I should say, let me do it another way. The way that we can approach women aware of the Me Too conversation, that's really what we're talking about here, is to be aware of the conversation. Is to don't assume, is not to assume anything, but to be forthright in your intention, your feelings, and what you're about. Because if you can do that transparently, honestly, most women will respect that, or at least know where they stand, which is a whole different paradigm from what we used to. What the Me Too, I keep calling it that, but it's really the outing of what's been happening for decades, for many, many years. Women are starting to own up to and share their hurt, their wounding from many years of suffering. It hasn't changed the experience, it's just changed the visibility. And that is something that's changing everything. So for the ladies out there watching this, yes, this is great to have this new frequency of ability to share and express this, but at the same time, those wounds don't go away on their own. And to be truth, even those women who were testifying at the sentencing for NASA, the guy with the Olympic gymnastics, and at the university, just putting him in prison doesn't heal them. They have to get support, therapy, coaching, counseling, whatever that is. So any women watching this, I'm going to say it to you again, I've said it before. Yes, you may have put out an article, a video, a talk, or joined a group about the Me Too conversation. And until you do the inner work, which is healing that, healing your heart, healing your wounds, and healing your programming, your behavioral beliefs and everything else, the conversation is just a conversation. It won't be a transformation. So for we men, bring it back to where we started, I think. Yep, I think it comes back there. I'm just watching the threads. For us to be truly in an awakened state is to recognize that, to know that for women who have been through that in the past, especially if they share with you they got a Me Too experience, whether or not you need to hear about it is not relevant, but what you do know is to support them in getting support. Support them in getting help. Getting support. It's truly about honoring and respecting that. But also the challenge is, ladies, If you have been through a Me Too experience, and this is true for both sides of the conversation again, and haven't done anything to get yourself help, whether it's through therapy, coaching, counseling, whatever that is, you can't expect your man to just put up with it. It's not appropriate. You've got to be willing. You've got to be willing to get support and help. Ideally when you're single, or if you're already in a relationship, do it then anyway, don't wait. But before you go on the next date, you might want to get some help and support in this area, because it's not the man's responsibility you're going to meet down the road to help you heal that. It might happen, but the odds are low. So get the help now while you're single. For us men who meet women in that challenge and that opportunity, it's not our responsibility to fix it. It's not. It's our responsibility to be witness, to be supportive, and if welcomed, to be directive to help them get where they want to go. So, men, if you're out on dates with women who share with you they've gone through had a Me Too experience in the past, just as a general heading, be aware of that. I mean, like, don't brush it off, but also don't think you can fix it, and don't think it's your job to fix it, because it ain't. In fact, that's a big mistake, by the way. You getting meshed with that, that's codependent up the wazoo. That's not good. I think this is all making sense. Okay, I think I've tied this together. This isn't done yet. This Me Too conversation is just getting started. This Time's Up movement is just getting started too. So these conversations I'm having in these Facebook Lives, they're happening pretty frequently. I'm doing the daily Facebook Live broadcasts on different things about relationship, love, and romance. But I'm also noticing the Me Too context is becoming more inclusive in my talks every day. Where it's going, I don't know. But I like to think that I can add some awareness, some perhaps upliftment, and some insight in the conversation. That's why I'm here. If you get value from this, I hope you do too. Having said that, I'm going to get going because I've got things to do already. It's still 10:20 at night. Work is never done. The simplest thing I'll say to you as a reminder, as a sign-off, as a completion, as I said before and I say every time, is take care of yourselves. This means appreciate, love who you are. If you feel like you've got something you're stuck with, get some help with it. It makes you more approachable, more attractive, and more whole to be in a healthy relationship. So this is your homework. Got it? Good. I'm back in tomorrow. By the way, these are my daily Facebook Live for a sign-off. You can find all of these on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author, and they all live pretty much sequentially. But also my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby, and on my website, which is barryselby.com, on the video blog. If you need help in the area of love and relationships, you want help in healing this part of yourself, reach out to me. If you have any questions, comments, put them below, and I'll respond when I sign off. And again, as I reminded you earlier, take care of yourself. Do the work to heal whatever's in the way of you getting what you want, and honor and respect who you are, because you deserve it. And with that, I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.